systems. A lot of things are very different now than they were when Ben Graham developed the value investing framework. The other thing is Ben Graham tried to develop, as a teacher, he tried to develop a framework that anyone could use. And so,
which makes sense because he really wanted other people to be able to do this.
That's correct. And so he was developing kind of harder rules that people could follow and be successful. And so from that standpoint, because we'll say the macroeconomic environment has changed and regulatory environment in a sense has changed and whatnot, can you apply those same hard principles? It may be more difficult. I'm sure if you look hard enough, Monish Pabrai would say, if you're looking for stocks that are trading at nets, then you can find them. You just got to look hard. But at the
but
same,
he finds a lot of them not in America.
I was just going to say that you got to be willing to go elsewhere.
Yeah, because
so
it's difficult now.
It's difficult
to do that type of investment.
That's correct. That's where Warren and Charlie kind of diverted and said, okay, we made our first a few $100 million doing this kind of investing, a few $100 million, but the bulk of it was made buying great businesses at fair prices. And he said that they bought businesses at valuations that probably would have made Ben Graham sick, essentially.
And they noticed that you couldn't do what Ben Graham did because the country had changed. The economics had changed.
And their business had changed.
Yes, you're right.
They got bigger.
Yeah, and so what did you take away from that? Because to me that was a great little portion of this lecture. Yeah,
I took away that I think you need to change your investing framework as perhaps you getting more successful, whatnot, and your bankroll's growing. At that point, you may be not getting the same opportunities anymore. So I think the value investing principles obviously apply. So the principles of value will always apply, but the way you apply them may be different.
Yeah, and it made me think of Li Lu, and I always say this on this podcast, that it is really difficult to find a great company with a PE of 30 or less. And that was one of those like aha moments for my own investing journey or whatever you want to call it. Because, I was in more of the Ben Graham camp. I was never totally there because I never did like nets and stuff. But, I wanted like what Monish says, like I want a P of 1.
Right.
Right. Well, you're not going to get Monster Beverage or Lululemon for a PE of 1.
No. That's just not going to happen.
Like, that's not going to happen. So I was trying to figure out, like, I wanted wonderful companies, but I wanted them at a deep value price.
Yeah.
But you need to do wonderful companies at a fair price.
Yeah.
And then Li Lu jumps on and says, you're not really going to find a wonderful company with a P of less than 30. But sometimes